Hello everyone, welcome to Jennifer's Sewing and Crochet. If this is your first time joining my channel, welcome. If you're joining from a previous video, welcome back. Today we're going to jump right into it, and we are going to talk about some of the basic supplies you need for Ultra Punch Needle embroidery. On my previous video, I talked about the actual Ultra Punch Needle Kit, which is the 3 needles and your actual pen. And I also told you about where you can find them. I also showed you another set of needles. Please refer to that video if you'd like that information. So, of course, to get started, you are going to need a punch needle. And depending on the type of product that you are going to be making, or the item that you're going to be making, if you're going to make a rug or be using yarn, you will not be using this needle. You'll be using a larger needle set. But in my case, I really like doing the Ultra Punch needle with embroidery floss and crochet thread. So the Ultra Punch needle works well for me. So then the next important step, or the next important item, will be your fabric. Now, I bought this piece of fabric when I bought my Ultra Punch needle from Etsy. And like I stated in my previous video, I bought my Ultra Punch needle on a site on Etsy called I forgot the name of it right offhand, but I will link it down below in the description box. Prim Perfect Punch, or Perfect Prim Punch, I believe it is. This is a recommended fabric that you use for Ultra Punch needle. And I have this nice little printout that I found this on marchingnorth.com. It is a free printout on their page that the fabrics that work well for punch needle. And the traditional fabric is for rug making is monk's cloth. And it is a heavy cloth, typically used for rugs. Then there is linen. There is also rug warp for making rugs or woven wall hangings. And then there is weaver's cloth. And weaver's cloth is what is recommended for punch needle. And that's what this is. It is a firm, tightly woven cloth. It works very well for punch needle. Then there is also, you can do 100% denim. And then there is a cotton fabric. Okay, and those I have here. And this is a linen type of cloth. You can see the lines in the weave of the cloth. And it does work well. This is what I am using for a project now. I have found that it does work a little bit better if you put stabilizer on the back of it first. Then there is also 100% cotton, and these are just scrap pieces of a really, I believe it's a 800 thread count sheet set that I had. The sheets got torn, so I just used the good sections of fabric for other projects. And this works really well with the fine tip needle, with the extra fine needle. Then this is just another 100% cotton cloth. Typically when you use it, I believe it's just a like quilter's cotton. So it's a really good, durable, 100% cotton. And you can see the thickness of it here. It is a nice thick, nicely woven, and it is very similar to the weaver's cloth, just not as heavy. So you could stabilize it to make it a little more durable if you wish. And I'll get into stabilizers in just a moment. So we'll move the fabric aside. So on stabilizers, they do exactly what the name says. They stabilize the cloth and they make it a little more durable. There are several different types of stabilizers. This is a common one. This is Heat and Bond Ultra Hold. This is the no-sew version. It's good for fabric, patches, denim, leather, suede, and applique. So this is, it is a paper-backed fusible. Okay. Then you have also the Heat and Bond, which is an iron-on, and this is a extra firm. Okay, and this one was no-sew. I'm not sure if I said no-sew. Then this one is it's great for lightweight fabrics, machine applique, and quilting. And this one is sewable, so it's Heat and Bond Light. These ones were the iron-on fusible. This is the iron-on Ultra Hold, and this one is the Ultra Bond Light. Okay, and like I said, this one is sewable. So definitely pay attention to the fusible that you're going to need for whatever type of project you're going to do. Okay, then you can buy fusible by the yard. This is just a one-sided fusible. It's got a little bumpy texture on one side. I think you can kind of like see the bumps on there. And that will be the side that you put to the fabric and you iron it on. This is what I am currently using, I believe, for a project. I will show you that in just a moment. I did buy this at Joann's, and you can buy it for the yard, by the yard, and it is often on sale. This one does tear very easy, so you can tear it away afterwards, but you do be very careful when tearing it away that you don't tear out any stitches. Okay, then there is this one, like I showed you. It does have, like the previous one, it does have the bumps, so you iron that side down to your fabric, and this is just a little bit more durable. I did buy this one at Joann's also, and this is the Pellin 950F sheer tailor. It's a fusible non-woven interfacing for collars and cuffs of shirts. It does work well also for applique and things like that. So if you are a sewer, you may have fusible interfacings on hand already. So then there is also a very thin webbing. This one is a paper backed, and it just looks like a paper, but this one you can iron both sides of it. This one is actually really well for, you can draw your pattern right on the paper, and then you can iron the one side of it to your paper, to your fabric, and your pattern will be right there, and you can punch right through it. Then you can remove the paper when you're finished, and you can iron it down to whatever you're going to be making. So it helps kind of like lock your stitches too. But another good way, in this example, this is the wrong side, as you can see, with all the little cuts of what I did, I wanted to just, this was my very first piece of needle punch that I did. And I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I would like to use this as maybe a design for maybe a tote bag, or who knows what, maybe like a little patch or something, whatever you like to make. But anyway, I wanted to do my stitches. My loops are very, very small on this side. The loops are bigger on this side. What you can do is you can either use, let me find it real quick. I'm not sure where I put it. Okay, there it is. So you can either use a fusible interfacing and put it all over the back of your fabric. You can see that this one already has some fusible on it, and I used the very thin fusible, and this can just tear away. But also you can use the fusible and put it back over the top of your completed piece, iron it down, and it can help lock in your stitches. Okay, but if you're going to be making a piece that is washable and it will be washed several times, you'll want to use a permanent fabric glue. This is Fabric Fusion. It's made by Aleene's, and it's a permanent fabric adhesive. So you could just paint it on. You could probably even dilute it a little bit with some water and paint it onto your stitches on the wrong side of the stitches, and it'll help lock those stitches in place so they won't pull out later if you wash that garment or whatever it is that you're going to be using that piece on. So now comes patterns. I got this one from one of the iron-ons. These are Aunt Martha's iron-ons. You can find these just about in any craft department you can find them at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Michael's, I believe, has them. So just any place that has like a craft needle supplies, you can just about find them anywhere. They do come in an envelope like this also. I don't know if this is a newer version or if this is just the older version. Look for either the green or the yellow and green like this. I believe this is the typical envelope that you will find them in. And these are just iron on. So you can just iron them to your fabric, and you will want to iron them to the wrong side of your fabric. And I will show you how to do that in a future video. You can also do like what I did here. I just decided I'm going to draw out a pattern. The geometric shapes that you see is what this one will be. The larger circle was a mistake, but it's reusable. Same with this side. I can do it on this side too, or whichever one I decide. This was just a test piece. Now, this is the current project I'm working on. I do have the fabric that's got the lines in it, like I showed you. This isn't the fabric I bought from the actual Perfect Prim Punch. I'm saving that for a special project. But this is what the punch needle will look like. I will show you more of this in a future video, but I just want to show you what it looks like when you draw out your pattern. You punch from the wrong side, so this is the wrong side, and this will be the right side, and this just can show you some of the hand-drawn patterns you can make. I just did random geometric shapes with a ruler and some circles, things like that. Okay, So then your next item, as you can see, will be your either embroidery hoop. You will need a hoop. They do make frames that you can put your fabric on, but if you're just starting out, you can just use an embroidery hoop. A key thing is, in these hoops, they come in all different sizes, okay? So if you're going to be making a project, depending on what your size is, I could have used a larger hoop on this one and then cut my fabric down to the size that I needed it. But I'm very, very picky about fabric waste. So it's okay if you put the hoop over a section that you worked. It's not going to hurt it, because you're going to straighten it out and you're going to fix it when it's complete. I will show you how to do a completed piece in a future video also. So on your hoops, you want a hoop that locks. So this is just a typical embroidery hoop. It does have a ridge. I'm not sure if you can see that little ridge right here. And what that does is when it's back together, it helps lock that fabric into the ring when it's tightened down. And on this one, I have the locking ring is down. So you'll learn as you proceed through projects on which way works better to make sure that the locking ring, like this one, this particular ring says this side up, but I like doing it opposite and putting it down, because when you are doing your punch, when it's in there, it's going to help lock that ring in there. Okay, so this one says this side up. It really depends. This one does not say which side up. So I believe my locking ring is this way. So this would be on inside the fabric. My locking ring is here. So it would be this way. So this side up. And here's your locking ring. So when you have your fabric in, it's actually locking down in there and it pulls it tautly. Okay. You will have to periodically pull your fabric to keep it tight. You want like a drum kind of sound to your fabric. You want it very taut. Okay. Then there are wooden. I believe these are bamboo. I did put a little washer and a nut here to help it tighten down a little better. My little tabs were bending in because when you tighten it. You can also use masking tape. On this ring, you can see right here in particular, it has like a gap. When you are doing your punch needle, you want it to stay taut. And if there's a gap, your fabric's going to be loose in those areas. So you can take your masking tape and you can put it on the inner ring. Like so, and just fold it in. And how many ever rounds you want to do, it can fill those gaps, and then it can also give your fabric something to grip to. Okay, so there's always that. Use whatever works for you. Okay, so they come in many, many different sizes. I'm not sure what this one is. I believe this is a 12-inch, and then they make them as large as this one also. I believe this may be an 18-inch. I did get this at Joann's. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of the wooden ones. I did buy this This is for a hand quilting loom that I have, and I just repurpose it and use it for punch needle or embroidery or whatever project I'm working on that requires a larger hoop. Okay, then they do make them in small ones, and this one is a 5-inch hoop, and it is also a locking ring. Okay, I might have bought this one at Joann's also when they were on sale. Walmart sells them. Hobby Lobby sells them. I am not sure if Michael's sells them. I haven't had a lot of luck with needle work projects through Michael's. Okay, and then this one. This is okay for regular embroidery. To use this hoop, you grab your 2 pieces and you squeeze it together and the inner ring comes out. Okay, there absolutely is nothing wrong with this hoop. Just if you're using it for punch needle, it's not going to work as well. And the reason why I say that is because the fabric does not stay tight enough in these hoops because of the spring. I don't know, actually I don't know if it's because of the spring, I'm not sure. I'm sure there may be a way to fix that as well. Maybe you can wrap tape around the ring, and maybe that, when you put it in back into the ring itself, will help tighten the fabric a little more so it doesn't slip and become loose while you're working. I myself have not had luck with this, so I would not recommend this for punch needle. Okay, then you're going to want your threads. This is just typical size 10 crochet thread. It is cotton thread. These are just some leftover balls that I had from projects, and they work really great for punch needle or if you're doing embroidery. Okay, then there are the DMC floss. Excuse me, my throat just growled. The DMC flosses, and these are 6-ply, and you can separate them to 1, 2, 3, 4, leave them however thick you need them, the 6-ply, whichever way. They do have several different brands. DMC is the most popular, which this one is. I believe I got these. I don't know exactly what this brand is. Okay, it's Designs for Needle. It is made in Mexico. It is 100% cotton. Nothing is wrong with it. I've used it for embroidery. It's just a little bit cheaper, and they come in packs. So there are those. Okay, now I've talked about our patterns, the needle itself, your thread, your hoops, your interfacing, and the fabrics. Now this one is a odd supply. You are probably wondering, why the heck do you need fishing swivels? Now, if you are going to be using your embroidery floss and you separate it, if you have done embroidery before, you know that when you separate the strands of floss, they twist and tangle up very easily. I have seen a video on, I believe it was YouTube or another needle punching site. I'm not sure the exact site, but I can show you how to use these in a future video. I actually will show you how to do this in a future video. It's an absolutely amazing hack. Okay, and it's just, it's used for separating your strands of floss. So with all that in mind, These will be the typical supplies that you will use for ultra punch. If one thing works good for you, great. If another thing doesn't, feel free to adjust it. What works for one person won't work for the other. It's trial and error. Just get out there, have fun, and start punching. If you liked my video, please give it a like down below, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.